Good morning, everybody. Time for Healing with the Blues. Healing with the blues. That's right, I'm healing with the blues. I've got nothing left to lose. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Such a pain inside. The love that's there for me, I have denied. I've never had the blues this long, this deep, this wide. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Yeah, it's time for healing with the blues because even when you have the blues, you can still be healing, going through what we go through in life, the losses, the gains, everything that's happening in our lives is happening for us and not to us. So when you start looking at it that way, life is just a learning place. It's just a place for us to learn more and more about ourselves and the universe that we're in. And so you can count experiences all joy if you want to look at it that way. And I highly recommend it because when you do that kind of work, you have to open and expand your awareness to find where that joy is. And remember, seek and you'll find. So you'll find it. Thanks for being with me today. And we have a guest today, Frida Rose. She is an awesome person. I'm going to just bring her in right here, and then I'm going to talk about her like she's not here. Frida Rose is the inventor of the Be Your Own Hero method, a technique that's taught over a period of 6 weeks that helps burnout women, high achieving women who've lost themselves in their personal relationships, overcome heartache and self-sabotaging behaviors, and set healthy boundaries so they can have the confidence to live on their own terms. Thank you so much for being here today, Frida. I'm so glad that you are.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, I love to have people who are doing healing in other ways to come here and talk with the people in our group, the Healing with the Blues tools and support for grief, and know that there's so much out there. I do at least, I don't know, probably 10 different modalities when I'm working with people. And I know that you have a really special way of working with people. And if you'll notice her website there, journaling is selfcare.com. Check that out. I'll be putting links in the comments afterwards. But can you tell us a little bit about how this all started for you?
Yes. So essentially, my story began with me living the life that my clients are currently living. Um, they are in a place where they don't have their voices heard. They're not feeling seen. They're not feeling valued or validated. They're typically caught up in a place of people pleasing and just trying so hard to fit into the little box of whatever the good girl is meant to be that they lose who they are. And that was the first 28 years of my life, essentially. And I got to a place where I felt just so burned out, so overwhelmed, and so depressed from putting on this facade of who I was supposed to be and not
Mhm.
really truly embracing who I actually was. So I ended up in like a really really dark place where I was completely brokenhearted after going through a really bad breakup. And I thought that was actually it for a moment before I had my big aha, which is basically I was I had this afternoon I was crying, I was on my floor feeling completely hopeless and helpless,
Yeah.
and I just had this little inkling inside tell me to pick up a pen and paper. It's time to start journaling, which was extremely powerful for me because I used journaling as a vice as a child. That was my way of giving myself comfort and self therapy through an abusive childhood that I was living in. And I fell in love with the pen when I was about 8 or 9 years old. But I had stopped when I was about 15 because my mom had read my journals out loud and basically used all my deep, dark, scary secrets to humiliate me. So having that moment at 28 where that my inner voice said it's time to pick up a journal again, I was scared of even just putting my emotions out on paper and seeing them even just for myself. I lived completely alone. There was no one who was going to be able to come in and look at those journals at that time. But I had to go through those things and I learned to self heal and to cope and to really, really have some incredible breakthroughs through just that pen and paper connection through journaling.
Yeah, so I want to just stay on that topic for a minute because I was talking with a client yesterday about this, And I said, you've written your list, because I often have my clients and patients write a list of the things that they know that they need forgiveness on. They know that this thing has been on their mind for years or whatever it is. And I have them write it down. And the person came in and it was on their phone. And I said, I really think you need to put this on paper, because that thing that happens when we transmute that energy from something here to something tangible, something that you can hold in your hand. Let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me what your view is on that.
Absolutely. I 100% believe in that. First of all, that mind, body, soul connection. I think when we're healing, a lot of the time we do think, oh, I have a broken heart. I need to heal my heart. I need to, be loved again or something like that. Right. But there's something else deeper. There's that deeper connection when you make it a physical, tangible thing.
Yeah.
And like with me personally, I have had those moments where, I don't know, maybe I'm out in a store and I have a thing of inspiration or whatever, I need to get it down. It doesn't feel the same just putting it in my phone really quick. That pen to paper, I
Yeah.
think it gives you the ability to have more of a somatic release as well. It gives you the ability to really feel your emotions in a physical sense that you wouldn't be able to feel just, through an electronic, whether it's your phone or your computer.
Right.
It's almost, to me, it's kind of reminds me of like if you were to, I don't know, go for a run to burn off steam or something like that, right? But it's deeper because you're having this conversation with your soul and your spirit as well. And journaling becomes like a meditative practice where you're able to, because you're so wide open, you're able to receive more information from like your higher self or God, the divine energy, whatever it is
Yeah.
that you believe in.
Yeah.
You end up on a whole nother plane. And you just can't get that with a laptop or a phone. So I 1,000,000%
Bring it in.
going
Yeah. And
old
I
school.
understand that. I want to use the word alchemy here, because really what we're doing is we're changing the energy of what the thought is to something that's physical,
Yes.
pen to paper. And also, you have to use your brain at least 4 to 5 times just to get those words onto paper. So you have to formulate the thought, you have to put the words together in a coherent way. You have to put it through your thought process there, as far as like, now I have to pick all the words and how to write them, and then you have to write it on the page.
Yes.
So you're actually kind of massaging this idea while you're doing that. And the other thing that I think is so important for this is that when you're doing it as a practice for your spiritual development, how much you're allowing more to come in from source. So that opening for source to come in, as I mentioned to this client yesterday, I said, you know what, you could just do this. Just write at the top of the page, what do I need to know today? And then just write and see what comes out, because that's the way that you're opening and you're saying, okay, I'm expecting you to come in. So you meditate for a bit, you allow that to happen, and then you write that question down and then see what comes, because it's often quite beautiful what you receive. So can you talk a little bit about your process of the 6 weeks?
Yes. So the Be Your Own Hero method is a 6-week program that I teach women. So we start off actually with a VIP day. So I spend the day with the clients at the very, very beginning of the journey to basically jumpstart them on their healing process and to get all their needs out in the open and really start building up that deep work from the root. I don't believe in band-aid solutions. I don't believe in quick, easy fixes. Well, actually, no, they can be quick and easy, but not
To say,
not
say
in
again.
not in a lazy way. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of the time, people want to like bypass the discomfort that comes up with healing.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the very, very first things I say to any client, since the program is called the Be Your Own Hero method, I have these like a couple of cute little like superhero analogies that I use. And one is about the spider bite moment, which we all know Spider-Man, right? We know Peter Parker got bit by that spider. He immediately freaks out. He was not ready for what was happening, didn't know what was happening. But then once he calmed into it and allowed the process to just be what it was, he became Spider-Man. And again, he didn't like that so much either. He had to figure out how to use his powers. But with
Right.
time, after he got over that hump and that hurdle of discomfort, he's like scaling buildings and saving people left and right with ease, right? So I think when we're healing, at the very, very, very beginning of our journey, we need to remember that it's okay to feel discomfort, and that the discomfort, although it is scary and can be painful, it is not a sign to stop. We're so used to running away from pain. You burn yourself in the stove. Yes,
Right.
don't play with that. That's the pain you run away from. But the emotional pain, we have to address it and get to the root cause of it and allow it to kind of build up inside of us in order for us to have that release.
Did you hear
So
her say root cause? You know, I talk about that all the time. It's what we do is we go after the root cause because your
yeah,
symptoms are the discomfort. That's the symptom.
exactly. Yes. So that's
It's
where I start in the Be Your Own Hero method, is with that root cause. And then we work on it, we explore it, like, let's not be afraid to go deep into maybe that traumatic childhood experience, you know?
yeah,
So
exactly.
so we work on those things and work on the limiting beliefs and the self-doubt and the fear that cause births, basically. And we look at how it's showing up in your real life. And we
Mhm.
go through that over a course of that 6-week period. We go through also lessons of setting boundaries and really implementing this in your real life. Because a lot of the time, like, you learn something, you read a book, you watch a podcast or whatever, you're like,
Yeah,
okay, I have this new information, but I don't know how to implement it. So
right.
I actually walk them through implementing it in their daily life as they're learning and growing over that 6-week period, which is really, really fun and special for me, because I love getting on those calls where they say, like, remember that sister I couldn't set that boundary with? Well, I said no to her last week. Yay. And it's like really incredible to see it kind of happen like that.
Yeah, that's the part that you and I would get addicted to is that aha moment from the client that's like,
Yes.
I did it and it was so good and now I feel so free. And so we want to keep doing that over and
I
over
love
again
that
with
feeling.
people.
Yes.
And everybody deserves that.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves to have that feeling of
Mhm.
like, I can stand for myself. I
Yes.
can use that. I love your Spider-Man analogy. That's so great. Um,
Thank you.
can you give, I know we talked about some of the questions, but I wanted to see if there was um, like if you could give people just a few prompts for what they could write, or just discuss what a writing prompt is and
Mhm.
how they can use that. And if you could give a couple of examples, that way people can kind of get an idea of what's coming down the pike when they work with you.
Yes. So, well, starting off with the example of what a writing prompt is, it's just a question, right? It's a question that's intended to inspire you to take a deep dive. I always tell clients that when I give you a journal prompt, um, I want you to, of course, answer the question in the prompt, but not in a way where, I'm sorry, there's like
Okay.
sirens.
Okay. So just a second. While you're saying that, there's a siren going off, meaning somebody needs help,
Yeah,
right?
someone needs help.
So this is exactly what we're talking about. These don't happen for no reason. There's somebody that needs help, and this is the siren going off as an indicator that it might be you. It might be you that needs the help. Not you,
Mhm.
Frida, but somebody that's
Someone
listening to
has
this,
it.
that's watching
Yeah.
this later, needs some help. And this is exactly what we're talking about. This is a great way to deal with that emergency feeling that we have. So go
Mhm.
ahead.
Yes. So instead of running from that emergency feeling, let's dive into it. And that's what my prompts are designed to do, right? So when I tell them, or when I have them answer the question on the prompt, it isn't just a black and white, yes or no kind of answer. It's not a one sentence kind of a thing. I really want you to go deep into that question and really, really explore it. Every little corner of it, every little thought
Hmm.
that might pop up, that even if it seems irrelevant, put that on paper and read over it and see what comes up for you. And that's actually something I have clients read to me, whatever came up with them sometimes, because sometimes you can't see for yourself, what something might mean, or what the when your alarm bells are going off. We're not always great at seeing that for ourselves, because we become so used to feeling a particular way that we think it's normal. So you might be living in like a fight or flight mode at all times because of some trauma that you haven't resolved yet. And to you, that's your normal. So you don't realize that most people are not feeling that way all the time. So a good prompt that I would start with would be, name the earliest time or the earliest point in your life where you remember feeling this way, right? Just something really simple. So say for instance, we have someone
Yep.
who works in a corporate space, and she has a fear of speaking up in meetings at work, when even when she knows the right answer, and then someone
Mhm.
else has the answer and she's like, dang it, I should have said it. That happens a lot. So that person, if they were to answer that question of when is the first time you felt that feeling, basically, of not being able to use your voice regardless of what you knew, maybe they will reflect to a point in third grade math where they were humiliated because they answered a question incorrectly and their classmates called them stupid or something like that, right?
Mhm.
So that lets them know that, okay, this did come from somewhere. I wasn't always this way per se. So a lead up would be, well, how did that feel for you? Go deep into that third grade self. What did she need from you at that time? I felt lonely. I felt sad. I felt inadequate. I wanted to, like, curl up in a ball, like have them really explore those things. And then we go even further into like inner child nurturing would be the next thing. Like, well, what did she need to hear? She needs to hear that she was special and she was brilliant and it's okay to be wrong sometimes. And we build up from there.
Right. That's awesome, because somebody that hasn't that you haven't signed into StreamYard, so I can't see who you are. But what kind of questions does she ask others to journal? There you go, right there. So that's a great way to get deeper into it. In fact, I use those kinds of questions when I'm doing some of the modalities that I do when I'm doing energy healing with people. So it's great to have them really thinking about that, or just allowing it. Thanks, Jennifer. Allowing it to let go of what you have preconceived about why this happens. And actually, what you're doing is you're opening up to get even more information about it.
Yes.
So beautiful, really
Yeah.
nice.
And
Go ahead.
no, I was going to say that actually there's a module in my program called and the clients don't realize, but like starting off with that work, we're already exercising that intuitive muscle. So
Can
like
you
what you're
repeat the title of that? Because it kind of the connection kind of got lost there for a
the
second.
intuition mission. So
All
yeah, so in that
right.
module, we're focusing on working that intuition. So many people think it's like, oh, is this power that only certain people have or whatever? No, we all have access to it, but we just have to exercise it and practice it. So starting out with getting into that root cause thing and like having them answer these questions and really explore on their own starts to kind of wake up that intuitive muscle. And then that particular module like gets us really, really deep into it, but we're already doing the prep work from the very beginning, which we
Absolutely.
we need
We're
that.
doing it all the time. We don't even realize it. In fact, I'm teaching a class. I'm just reminding my people here. We're teaching that class, Claim Your Power 2, on March 11th. That's coming right up. So make sure that you register for that. If you've taken Claim Your Power 1, which is where we practice using our intuition and reading each other's energy, and people are just like amazed at how, oh, I did that and I got it right. Like that meant something to you. What I saw meant something to you. Wow, that's amazing. When we start to actually practice using that and doing that with intention,
Yes.
which is what we're talking about with the journaling too. You're doing it with the intention of releasing what doesn't work for you anymore. You're
Mhm.
doing all of this with the intention of moving forward
Yeah.
in your life without the boxes keeping you stuck.
Mhm.
And it's not just what other people think, it's generations of what other people have thought.
Yes.
It's lifetimes of what you've been through in your soul, because
Mhm.
you're an infinite being. And it's all of that coming to bear. And so what could be better than just writing it down? I mean,
Yeah.
it could be very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. Healing doesn't have to be difficult, and you don't have to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. I
That's
know that
beautiful.
everybody says that you don't have to have a breakdown before you have a
Mhm.
breakthrough. That's some of the stuff that I work on with people. Like, how about if you could just learn without having a breakdown? That would be
Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's actually avoiding the breakdown. Like,
You're not even avoiding it. You're just saying, look, I can just receive this information
Mhm.
right now without having to have some terrible thing blow up my life.
Yeah.
Right? We've all been there. We've had terrible breakups. We've had loss of people in our life. We've had loss of lifestyles. We'd had that over COVID. We
Yes.
had loss of work. So many people couldn't work. Our band couldn't play anywhere.
Mhm.
It's like there's things that happen that feel like a loss. And what if you use that as a way to open more of yourself up to what source energy has for you, what God has for you?
Yes.
Because the worst thing would be that story of you die and go to heaven and you say, where are all the blessings I was supposed to get? And you're walking through a huge warehouse, like at the end of Indiana Jones, the last, whatever the first one was. And there's this warehouse filled with boxes. And those are all the blessings you didn't get while you were
Mhm.
here on earth because you wouldn't let them come in because your
Yeah.
funnel was so small. You couldn't let them
Yeah.
in.
And that is actually something really, really important is that a lot of us don't open ourselves up for receiving. We are told to, work hard, hustle hard, 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 and, take care of everyone else, especially as women. But we are never really taught to pause and, first of all, do self-care just for ourselves.
Like you listened to my thing from yet last week. I was talking about this. That's so
Oh,
funny.
really?
Yeah, exactly.
We aren't taught to
Maybe just go back and listen to that.
and take care of us, but also to receive help and assistance from others. Like when
Yeah.
someone says, "Oh, it looks like you've got a lot on your plate. Let me help you with yada yada yada," and we are so quick to say, "Oh no, I got it. Oh no, I'm good." Why? Why
Yeah.
not? Why can't you? You don't have to be superwoman in that regard all the time. To take care of every single thing, the weight of the world on your shoulders. You could be
In fact, you
superwoman.
better not, actually.
Right.
You
Be
better not
superwoman
do
to
that.
yourself and save yourself by letting others help you as well.
This is the thing that I was talking about last week. I led people through a meditation. I said, okay, imagine there's a scale in front of you,
Mhm.
and one side is giving. This is my right,
Mhm.
giving, and one side is receiving.
Mhm.
Where is
Yeah.
it heavier? It's probably heavier in giving because you have so much
Mhm.
control over that. And you don't want to lose control because that would be the worst thing that could happen. So receiving is cut off.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and when you don't allow people to give to you, you're also taking away their ability to give.
Mhm.
So it's lose lose. So
Yeah.
receiving when someone's offering, or even when you ask for help, because you can do that, you can ask for
Mhm.
help.
And it doesn't
And
mean
yeah, then you're actually giving another person the ability to give,
Mhm.
and they get that, and you get to receive and see how things show up that way. It's a really beautiful thing to have that balance. So I'm going to highly recommend that you follow Frida. I put her Instagram up in the comments there so you can follow her, and then go and check out her journaling for self-care. The journaling is selfcare.com. It's so important that you allow yourself to at least alchemize the stuff that's in your head, because here's the thing. It's spring coming right around the corner. You got to clean that gunk out. You got to get it out. Let's do that spring cleaning inside first. And
yes.
this is a great way to start. And you have even 21 days starting tomorrow, 21 days, and you can get this stuff cleared out.
You can get a lot done in 21 days.
You
Do not
absolutely
underestimate
can. You
it. Yeah.
absolutely can. I'm so grateful for you, Frida. Thank you so much. Can you
Yeah.
stick around for a little bit?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
because we have a few minutes left. And so what I'd like to do is I want to remind you again, Claim Your Power 2 on March 11 is happening. So make sure you sign up for that. I'll put the links on the page, and you can also go to healingwiththeblues.com. It's our masterclass for this month. So go ahead and check it out. This is a paid class. It's about 4 hours. I always say, well, we might not use all that time, but we generally do, and it goes by so fast. You'll be like, wait a minute, we're done already? So just know that it's a really fun experience. This is not This is not heavy and serious. It's light and interesting and fun. So I hope that you'll join us. I want to do just a quick tapping with everybody because I've been going to the World Tapping Summit that's happening all for the next 9 days. And it happens at 7 o'clock my time, Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. So that would be 5 o'clock Pacific, happening online. It's totally free. You can upgrade if you want and pay for all that. But there was a beautiful tapping that we did last night. And it's all about the worthiness that you have. It's all about having that idea that, you know, we have this negative self-talk. Have you ever had negative self-talk, Frida?
Absolutely. Are you kidding?
So we're gonna kind of do this fast, but we might go over time a little bit. But I want you to just close your eyes, take a deep breath, let yourself feel your feet on the floor or your butt in the seat or wherever you are. Just start to feel yourself sitting there, being here now. Take another breath in. And as you let it out, I want you to just let that mean girl in the back of your head come forward. What's the thing that you usually say to yourself? You don't have to tell me out loud. You can just think of what's the phrase that you often hear yourself say to yourself about yourself that's negative, because we all have it and we can quiet it down. And that's what we're going to do right now. So I want you to tap on your eyebrow and just say all of this negative self-talk. And you can put in the phrase that you do, and then go to the side of your eye. This negative self-talk that causes me to feel so bad about myself. Under the eye, it's so true. It's just a fact. That's just how I am. And under the nose, it's just a fact, right? This feeling of negativity that I have about myself, just put in your phrase right there. This, whatever the phrase is. I'm so stupid. I don't know anything. Under your lips, on your chin, under your lips, on your chin, 2 fingers right there. Oh, I can't believe I say this to myself all the time. Under your collarbone on either side. And it's just a fact. This is the truth about me. And then under the arms. But what if it's really not true? What if it's not true? Top of the head. What if the truth is I'm an infinite being? What if the truth is, eyebrow again, that I am a magnificent creation? Side of the eye. I'm allowing myself to take in this truth right now, under the eye. I'm a magnificent creation. Under the nose. And I allow myself to experience the truth under the lips, that I am perfectly imperfect, that I am under the collarbone, a beautiful creation from source energy, and under the arm, and I'm meant to be here right now. Now, top of the head, and it's beautiful in every way. Eyebrows, and I acknowledge my feelings. Side of the eye, I own my feelings. Under the eye, I honor my feelings. Take a deep breath. Where do you feel like you are in that negative self-talk now? Doesn't it seem a little bit weird that you would say something negative to yourself?
How rude
Like,
of me.
yeah, how rude. How rude I would say that to myself. And it's something that you probably say and you don't even realize you're saying it. So a lot of times when we're doing this kind of work, we have to slow our thoughts down and say, well, what is it that I do really say to myself?
Yes.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, we didn't do this first. How bad was the self-talk? 10 is the worst, 0 is nothing. How negative was that self-talk?
I think it was about at a 3, just because I do this work daily.
Mhm.
Like that's
Right?
I
And
wake
for
up
other
every
people, it
morning.
might be more. And
Yeah.
so where is it now that we've done that little
Mhm.
bit of tapping? It's gone. Right.
Gone. Yeah.
So this is how quickly things can happen. So, I always ask you, do you believe in an instant healing? Just say yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you deserve an instant healing? Just
Yep.
say yes.
Yes.
Do you believe that it's safe and that it serves you to have an instant healing?
Yes.
And there you go. That's the first step. Allow yourself to do that. I had somebody on my adjusting table last week, and I said, do you believe in an instant healing? And this is somebody who is a believer, goes to church, and they had to think about it.
Ooh.
And I'm like, this is where things start to break down. Where is your belief?
Mm-hmm.
Do you deserve to have every good thing that there is in the world? You're here.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've made up an idea, or you've been taught an idea that you're not worthy. And the truth is, if you're here, you're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth.
Yes.
As I
Infinite joy is your birthright.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear people saying this over and over again. It doesn't mean that your life is always going to be, rowing your boat downstream. It means that when you get to something, there's a lot of friction, that you know how to handle it, that you know what to do about that, because the friction is showing you something about yourself. Remember, my phrase is ABL, always be learning.
I love that.
Always be learning.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Frida. I'm so glad you were here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And I want to add one tiny little thing really quick here. For anyone who is like brand new at the journaling and doesn't really know where to start, there are prompts and articles on my website, and they're actually embedded in each of the journals where you can scan the QR code that will take you to resources, articles that I wrote with journal prompts and all sorts of really good, juicy stuff like that. So you're not alone on that journey. Even if we don't work together, you're not alone on that.
That's so wonderful. Thank you for that gift, Frida. Let's close with a prayer. So take a nice deep breath in, breathe all the way up through the top of your head, up into love, light, source energy, up into the center of the universe, wherever that is. And as you exhale, let that energy come back down through all layers, all levels, down through the center of your body, through the chakras, down through your feet, into the core of the earth. As I say these words in the I am, for everyone listening, even those on the replay, God is all there is. Love is all there is. Light, life, and source energy is all there is. And I recognize right here and right now that I'm one with God, love, light, life, and source energy. And I'm never, ever separated from this energy. But if I feel separated, I know it's a false feeling. And all I have to do is put my intention on inspiration, inviting spirit in, and exhaling gratitude. Thank you. I'm so grateful to have all of these different ways that I can move into expanding myself in a way that is so loving and gentle and actually easy for me to do. How easy is it for me to just put pen to paper? It's so simple. And yet it can hold a whole universe of possibilities for me. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful to have people to guide me in this, to have people that I can be supported by in my life, doing this work for myself to make my life more intentional. That's the truth. When I put attention on my intention, there's no tension. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful to my guides, my guardian angels, my spirit helpers on the other side of this thin veil. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And those here in the physical plane, especially those relationships that have friction, because I'm learning so much from those relationships, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for what I'm learning. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I am victorious and learning more and applying it into my life, and I'm so grateful for that. I authorize my subconscious to let it be so, to dissolve any constrictions, contractions, any chains that are binding me, any boxes that I'm in, just dissolving them into unconditional love. I say that it's so, and I let it go, knowing that it's already done. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody. We're also on LinkedIn today, and we're also on YouTube, so you can share it with your friends from there, too. Thank you so much, Frida. Have a great day.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much.